Join my fight!
Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to walk you guys through some Rogue Mage 2v2, this time versus Restoration Druid and Frost Mage. Now this is a comp that you don't fight a ton, but when you do, it just feels like a free loss. It's the scariest thing because if you're going on the Frost Mage, it's very, very difficult to actually connect and hit him. And if you're going on the Druid and it's too obvious, he's just going to sit in bear form, you're going to get peeled by the Mage. And once you don't kill in a certain amount of time, of course, as Rogue Mage in 2s, you're just not going to land the kill and you're going to die, right? Because you're on quite that clock when you don't have a healer. Just throw it out there, guys. This is another composition where it's like really, really hard to get the W. And you can every now and then, but a lot of times, you can definitely lose against this comp. But this is like, if you're going to win, this is how you're going to do it type of a thing. So we're in Ruins of Lordaeron here for this matchup. We're queuing at pretty much the top MMR in North America, 24-ish, 2,500 MMR. We're fighting, I think, the highest rated Mage Druid. And to be fair, these guys do beat us quite a bit. But this was one of the wins. So just to throw that out there, this is, if you are going to win, how it's going to look. This is my spec. And the one thing, I mean, it's a basic spec that I've always been playing, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. You can see it on the screen. But the one thing I do want to mention is that I don't play Kleptomania against Resto Druids. I like Greater Pyro. You have to play GPI. The benefits of being able to cast a GPI, even the threat of it, if it does get stopped, is what makes this comp good. So you have to play GPI. Now, Temp Shield, I would say, is necessary for just surviving long enough to get the kill. So you have to play Temp Shield. Now, instead of Controlled Burn, you could play Kleptomania. The problem with Kleptomania is that overall, you're getting less spell steals in to sustain your life bar, right? And Controlled Burn increases burst and makes it so you can sap off Kidney if they're stacked, because it won't spread your dots to the Druid. So Controlled Burn helps with extra CC, Controlled Burn helps with your burst, and Kleptomania actually hurts you in a longer game because you're getting less spell steals overall in the downtime. So that's why I prefer not to run Kleptomania. However, you could and take the whole row of Druid Hots. So it's kind of, I mean, a lot of people probably call me crazy for not taking it, but I don't really like to take it. Oh, I actually did swap to Priz Cloak there. That's something I have been testing around with. Right at the end before, I did switch to Priz Cloak instead of the Controlled Burn. So Priz Cloak, the advantages of it, it's even more defensive, so you're going to survive a bit longer. The disadvantage of it is that you lose the Slight Burst and the sapping of kidneys from Controlled Burn. I don't know. It's something that's like, okay, if we can live a little bit longer, we can get an extra go in, but it could also mess up one of our goes. So it's almost like a gamble, a risk there. I don't know if I would do that again, but that is what I played in this game. That's Prismatic Cloak. So when I do blink, I get 50% less damage taken to me from spells. And, it's a mage, so it's pretty much from all damage sources. So it's Mage Druid, it's Orc, and Troll. Right away, we're targeting the Mage, and we're focusing on the Druid. And in this series, guys, I want to walk you guys through pretty much every Rogue Mage matchup that we're fighting on ladder, and try to go really slow with it, right? Just try to really break it down. So we sap the Mage, we run in, right? The sap on the Mage is so important. I'm not invising until the Mage invises. So I have the later invis so that we always get the sap. The Mage invis right away, I'll wait a second, and then invis right away. If the Mage doesn't invis, we'll run in and sap him, and then I'll run in on my mount and cast a GPI. Regardless, sapping that Mage in the opener, very critical to actually winning this matchup. If you don't get that sap, then your whole first go is ruined. So we're casting a Greater Pyroblast into the sap, right? Onto the Mage. He has, 3, 4, 5 haunts, and the Druid's in bear form. So we could do something like blind the Druid, open the Mage with a triple cheap shot. We could kidney the Druid into a Ring of Frost, open the Mage with a triple cheap shot. Regardless, we want to get some CC on the Druid. We want to get a big opener on the Mage. So let's see what we actually do here. Kidney on the Druid. So right away, I know as soon as this kidney lands and the Greater Pyroblast leaves my hand, I need to do what? Pop quiz. We need to blink over and ring the Druid, right? Because we need to follow up this kidney with some type of CC. Now, if the Mage Trinket kicks me, Naj is going to know I have to blind Druid or sap Druid because Xaryu did not get the ring, because I can only ring because he's in bear form. If I do get the ring, Naj will continue to do damage and will force defensives from the Mage. So we'll see what we actually get here. I blink over and do get interrupted on the ring, and we don't get any follow-up CC quite yet. Naj is just sticking onto the Mage. We do get the Mage's Trinket, though, and we kind of deem that that's going to be enough for the opener. Druid Tree forms, Mage Trinket Temp Shields. I do believe that was a temp or just a Trinket counterspell from the Mage. And we kind of got stopped in the first go. So that's our first go, right? All we got was Mage's Trinket. We alternatively could have blinded the Druid or went for the sap on the Druid. The problem with that is by the time my rogue actually gets to the Druid to blind him and it gets back to the Mage, then the Druid is really smart. He's just going to sit the blind or sit the sap because he knows by the time we get back to the Mage is going to be fine because the Mage already trinketed. So since we got Mage's Trinket, I don't mind that we kind of are slow playing this game. We're slow rolling this game. And that's if you're going to win games, a lot of against Mage Healer, specifically Mage Druid, a lot of the games are going to be slow rolls like this. You're not just all-inning with Combust in the opener because guess what? He's just going to Ice Block. He's just going to pop Trinket Temp. He's going to be fine. I didn't Maledict. I didn't Combust. I didn't Meteor. I just casted a G-Pie, throw out some Fire Blast and Pyros, tried to get the CC, didn't get it, but we got the Mage's Trinket. Now I immediately sheep the Mage, guys. I'm not waiting, right? I'm immediately sheeping the Mage, and I'm immediately casting that G-Pie onto the Mage as well. Looks like they want my Rogue for now, so they throw me into a Bash and to a Polymorph, and now another Polymorph follows. I want to get that Re-Intellect when I can for sure. Triple Polymorph coming out. We lock the Mage, going for the Ring of Frost on the Druid. Let's see if I land that. Looks like I will. We get the full ring, throw the Meteor down onto the Mage, and a ton of damage connects. I throw out my Maledict, and I don't think we can get a Re-CC onto the Druid. We're casting more Greater Pyros here, and that's why G-Pie is so good. That quarter Polymorph coming out, and I'm just threatening him with G-Pies, right? It keeps him on the defensive. This is why G-Pie is such a good talent, guys. Keeping the Mage on the defensive. If the Mage could just run out when he wasn't scared, he would kill my Rogue. But I can threaten G-Pies over and over to make the Mage scared run away. While the Mage is running away, diminishing returns are resetting, and we have a chance to live another day, right? So the G-Pie is an offensive spell, but it's our best defensive spell as well, because it allows the enemy team, it doesn't allow the enemy team to push in onto us. It keeps them at bay. Also, I did want to note here, all of these mirror images are, casting Frost Bolts, tons of damage. I did Blink. That Prismatic Cloak is definitely giving us value here. With those 50% damage reduction on the mirror images. We know the mirror images when we line of sight them because they actually do a lot of damage. Throw the blind on the Druid, we immediately get the Trinket, and a ton of damage comes off. I Combust onto the Mage. If we can get a follow-up poly, he does have kick. We fake the kick and land the full poly. So this is critical. This is critical. Like a play like this is almost necessary, not to win the game, but to do well in the matchup, right? We blind the Druid to get the Trinket. We open onto the Mage. We're casting a Scorch. I know the Mage has Counterspell available. Look, he has it back up off cooldown. The Kitty Shot at 3 seconds. We go for the Poly. We fake cast the Counterspell by canceling the cast, and boom, we land the full Polymorph. So that is huge, right? Now in one go, we use Combust. I use Maledict last go, we use Combust this go, so we're really splitting up our cooldowns here, right? Splitting up our cooldowns so we get a lot of their defensives. Now we got Mage's Block, Mage's Trinket, Druid's Trinket. That is really good. The only cooldown they have left is one more Mage Block. From here, we could try to CC through the block by sheeping the Druid a few more times, or we could hard reset, sheep the Mage, and kind of let my Rogue run away. We haven't really decided yet. I guess we're going to go for a resheep here onto the Druid. Maybe one more sheep. I have a Dragon's Breath as well. That'll be full because that blind DR is just ending. I could DB if I want. Boom, we Shadow, we duel the Druid, and then we could probably throw a Kidney Shot and maybe a DB as well. Mage tries to fake cast the Polymorph, skin comes out, so it's probably just going to be another go. So here I could even sheep the Mage. I'm trying to fake the counterspell, it looks like. It looks like he's not really going for the fakes. We go ahead and sheep the Mage, we Kitty the Druid, we ring the Druid, and we're getting another go here on the Mage. Casting that Greater Pyroblast and the Meteor, and the Mage's probably going to have to block again. Yeah, so that's the second block for the Mage. Once again, guys, we set up with the Poly on the Mage, so the Poly is almost like this acting as that sap in the opener. We Poly the Mage so we can't run away and kite my Rogue. Then we Kidney the Druid into that Ring of Frost. Now they're both controlled. Cast the Greater Pyroblast with a cheap shot on the Mage with the Meteor. Greater Pyroblast Meteor is a ton of burst. It wasn't Combust, it wasn't Maledict, but we have G-Pie and Meteor. So much damage. He had to Ice Block right there. If he had an Ice Block, he'd get a little bit lower, throw some Scorch's Fire Blast and we win the game, or he has to Ice Block even lower. So it's a good Ice Block by the enemy Mage. Now we're going for a Polymorph off of this Ring of Frost. If the Mage comes down and counterspells me, at least he came out of his block. If he doesn't counterspell me, we might be able to CC through the block. My Mage, or my Rogue rather, though, is like 35% life, so it's super, super scary right now for Naj, so he's going to have to go for a reset or run away. Frost Nova comes out, double Dragon's Breath comes out, casting a G-Pie, it's probably going to be another go at this point. Mage polys me, I Trinket counterspell him in the Ray of Frost to keep my Mage alive, and now it's to the point where it's late game, right? Like, this is the game's gone in a few minutes. Mage is CCing me, we just block it, Trinket it, like, I'm not the kill target anymore. I'm 100% life. I have temp shield. I have invis. I have cauterize. At this point, it's about keeping my rogue alive, and sometimes you have to understand they're just going to be chasing your rogue, and you can block offensively. It's not something I would recommend a lot of the times, but sometimes you can throw those offensive ice blocks. It's not even it's a defensive ice block, but I'm using it for my rogue to survive. So we're throwing out the G-Pies, trying to keep the Mage at bay, trying to keep the Mage a bit scared because he's running after my Rogue. We sheep the Mage, we sheep the Dispel, and this is the same exact setup that we've seen, right? Throwing the Sheeps out, throw the G-Pies out, and I'm just casting Pies. At this point, it's like good just to get the damage out there. The Temp Shield's going to put him back to full HP here because that was, good value temp. We're going for the Sheep on the Mage. He does Trinket counterspell me, and that was the Trinket from the Mage. We throw the Smoke Bomb as well, but now for this next go, they have no Trinkets and no Ice Blocks. This was actually a really nice blink play here. I'm going to rewind that. We're throwing the Greater Pie into the Kidney. We get the Kidney Cheap Shot and the Smoke Bomb. The Mage blinks around the back to avoid the Cheap Pie, and instead we turn this way and blink through here to land the Cheap Pie. So Mage blinks this way, we blink this way. We actually do land that Cheap Pie. Now, if a little bit more damage connects, we could kill with this go. Dampening's at 40%. Druid's, getting a little bit more lower on mana. If we can get a Dragon's Breath Poly on the Druid, we could maybe win this game, or we could wait until next DR as well. So it's kind of just, we'll kind of have to see. We push in, going for that DB, we kick the Poly, and the full Sheep lands on the Druid. So now this is like really, really, really good for us, right? We have Maledict coming up in a sec here. We have the full Sheep, they have no Trinkets, no Ice Blocks. Casting the G-Pie, Mage is 50% life. He has a couple hots. I could go for some spell steals. I have the Meteor, but he doesn't have Stun here for 6 seconds. So it's really like about casting the G-Pie, then finishing with Scorch, Fire Blast, and maybe Maledict. And he has no counterspell for 7 seconds. There's nothing he can do here. He's also kicked an Arcane, so we can't Sheep. The G-Pie does land. Repolymorph being casted. Repolymorph does land. Meteor coming out because that kind of dead zones him behind the pillar. Meteor lands as well. The full Kidney Shot comes out. Maledict comes out from me. I get polyed. The Maledict does land, and the Mage goes down. So, guys, this was, like, an incredibly close game, right? Like, an incredibly difficult game, incredibly close game. Obviously not just like, oh, yep, do this, step 1, step 2, step 3, easy dub. But, like, no, like, this is going to take some effort, some work. It's not just, like, a free win. But if you do all of these, like, little micro things, faking the kicks, landing these G-Pies, resetting at the right times, going at the right times, getting the cross CC, the setups, all of these things, then you can actually, get some wins against a team like this. However, if you don't kill pretty soon there, my Rogue has no cloak, I have no block, no trinkets, like, we're pretty much going to die within the next minute there. If we don't land a kill right there, then the Druid has trinket back up. Then the Mage has another ice block, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we just lost, right? So it's really about forcing those cooldowns really fast, resetting, forcing more cooldowns, resetting, forcing more cooldowns, and then maybe having a slight kill window where they have absolutely nothing to actually manage to land that kill. Guys, that's Rogue Mage versus Druid Mage. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely a more complex matchup, but if you like videos like these where I just take a game and really, really break it down onto all the intricacies of what we're doing, when we're running, when we're bursting, how we're bursting, CCing, all of that stuff, definitely be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I'm going to be making a lot more Rogue Mage tutorials, guides in the future, talking about exactly how to beat each matchup, or at least the best way that you can put yourself in a position to win against each matchup. Guys, thumbs this video down if you didn't like it. Talk to me down below in the comments about what you guys want to see in the upcoming videos, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram/XaryuLOL. Posting when new videos like this go live, posting when I do my live streams over on Twitch, and posting a bunch of fitness stuff as well. So if you guys want to check out the Insta, definitely feel free to do so. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.